everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be working on this cute Flamenco Dancer paper art sculpture. So here's my time-lapse rough drawing that I did on Procreate using my iPad. And now let's get right into it. Alright, so as per usual, I'm taking my tracing paper and I'm going to start by tracing out the head shape, and then I'll tape this onto the paper that I'm going to actually use with my washi tape so that it's easily removable. And now I'm going to go ahead and draw in the face details. This could probably be easier done using a light box, so I could just trace over my original reference. But I did have a light box at one point and it stopped working and I haven't replaced it yet, but it's fine. I don't mind drawing it again. So just taking my kneaded eraser, I'm going to go ahead and erase out the face just barely so I can just draw right on top of that. So here I cut out on paper the parts of the face that I want to use paper for. So the lips and the eyelashes that I want to stand out. And then the rest of the face, I am going to color that in using my colored pencils. I'm just going to alternate between my white and my maroon colors, and I'm going to use the white to blend the maroon out a little bit so it looks more like a smoky eye shadow. I'll just use the same pencil to go in on the other details of the face, like the eyebrows. And then I'm going to switch over to my Copic markers, and I'm using my blush color to add some blush onto the face. So I'll add it to the cheeks and the nose area, and then I'm going to use my Copic blending marker to just kind of blend that out. And it looks a little harsh at first, but then when it dries, it tames the color down a little bit, so not to worry about that. So here I'm going to use some glue on this old paintbrush that I have. And then I'm going to dab on some of my glitter so that her eyeshadow area looks a little glittery. And just tap out some of that excess, and look how cute those eyes are. Alright, so time to glue in those pieces that we cut earlier. So I'm going to add in her eyelashes and her lips, and then just go ahead and add some details. And then we're going to move on to doing the hair. Same process as before, just trace it, tape it onto some paper, cut it out, and then glue it onto the other paper where you want it to go. Of course, I added in a couple of little curled hair bits, and all I do here is just use one of my rods, like a toothpick or a wooden rod, to twirl the paper so that it holds this form. So it's important that you use like a good thick paper, because that way it's easier to bend it. And here's just this little rose that I already had completed, and you can see some of my other videos if you want to learn how to make these little roses. Following the same process, I went ahead and also completed her torso as well as her arms. And this is what we have so far on day one. Alright, moving on to the dress. So again, following the same procedures as before, I'm going to trace out, I'm going to cut, and then we're going to glue. And these are the pieces of her dress that I've cut out. So we have the top part, and then I did the bottom part of the skirt in 3 separate layers so that I can bend them and give them the appropriate volume that they needed so they can stand out. So now on the scarf that she has tied around her waist, I'm going to go ahead and cut out some fringe. So I have this scissor that cuts many lines. I don't know what it's called. It has like multiple scissors in one. And then just using my other smaller scissor, I'm just going to make additional cuts so that it's more thinner. And then I had these little pieces of roses that I already cut out and put together. And I'm just gonna arrange these on her scarf and add some nice leaves and golden leaves around. Cute little scarf. Okay, moving on to what is now for me day 3 of this process. I am going to start putting together this sculpture. So I always keep my paper reference on hand just so that when I glue things down, I can align them properly. And I also use these foam, double-sided sticky foams to elevate some of the areas that I want to stand out. So here I'm just going to put together the dress and, you know, glue down the rest of her body parts, and then I'll show you at the end how it all comes together. All right, so let's start arranging her on the actual paper that I want to use for her background. So I decided to make a border for her so she looks like she's standing sort of on an archway, like by a door archway. And so I wanted to decorate this border with my gold acrylic paint from Golden. And so here I'm just adding in the details around the frame with my really small #1 round brush. And I'll put all of the descriptions of the materials that I use in the description box. And to finish up, I'm going to add a couple of leaves around her background area so she has a little bit more interest. When I'm working on these parts here, I don't really sketch these things out. I just kind of intuitively feel what I think might be right at the moment. So that's why when I do the sketch, I usually just do like a really quick rough sketch, and then as I'm working on the paper, or, you know, I start getting ideas of what I think might look good, and start adding embellishments around the background, or, you know, like in this case, making the border. So here I'm just going to put this all together, and I have a shadow box frame, which is perfect because I can put the first layer, which is the archway, in the bottom, and then put that divider piece and then the girl in the back, so that you can see a nice shadow and depth between the archway and the dancer. So there she is. That is the completed Flamenco Dancer girl in her nice gold frame. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in. And hope to see you next week. Have a good one.